All right. Okay, so I'm starting again. Thank you for sticking with me. My name is Teresa Micheletti, and this site is called Take What Rings True. So the whole idea is that you believe what you want to believe, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to be talking about Noir, which is the dark planet. So, Noir, I need to give you some background information. First, there was creation. And my understanding, my belief is we were all thoughts in the mind of God or the creator, whatever you want to call source. So in the Godhead, we were all thoughts. And then we were brought into being, into form. So we had a body, a spiritual body, and on earth we have a physical body, an earthly body that only lasts as long as our life on this earth lasts. So we have our physical body, and we were created to incarnate because God, the Father, wanted to experience. And he thought about us, and then he thought about experiences, and we experience things and share our experiences back to God. So we're the experiencing part of God. He knows everything, but he has not experienced everything. So when we were created, some would it be recalcitrant, some um, entities thought that they should just like create themselves first. Like they're going to create their own form. They're going to come out. They're powerful. They have free will. So God allowed them to do that, allowed them to become their own form and not accept the light of God. So they're called dark entities because they do not have the light of God. They negated it. So what happened was they gathered together, the entities that chose not to accept the light of God, and they created a planet. And at the same time, God was creating something called Nouveau, which is a planet of the light and has very powerful people, very powerful entities who reside there. And it's only seen in the other dimension, in the dimension of the other side of heaven. So you only see it there. And then the opposite, the duality, is a dark planet. But this planet is smaller than Nouveau, but it's supposed to mimic it. It's been described as like the facade of Disneyland. Like it's supposed to look like the beautiful other side, but it's not. It's a, a facade on this planet. So, okay, so God created, source created, creator created entities, us. And then we came into form, and then we were choosing how to incarnate, what we would do. We make plans about, okay, I want to come into life. I'm going to experience being a teacher. I'm going to experience living on the West Coast of the United States. So those big things are all written in. And then the angels help us fulfill what we want to experience. So, and you come down with a spirit guide, you come down to earth with a personal angel who watches over you. Okay, now the opposite. There are the dark entities in this universe that have been created to allowed to experience darkness. Now they are not allowed to go back to the heaven we have. There's called the left door and the right door. So we go to the right door, the correct door to heaven, and the dark entities, when they die, are not allowed to come in. There's a gate, there's a block. It's called going to the left door, and they cycle right back into a lifetime on whatever planet they're going to. So most dark entities reside on Noir because it's their domain. They created it. But it has a facade of a wonderful, wonderful place. But in reality, its underlying current is negativity, and its underlying vibration is negativity. So it's the absence of light. Have you ever walked into a room and all of a sudden you feel like the air was sucked out of you? Because maybe people have been arguing there, or maybe something yucky had happened there, and you just don't feel good. That's the absence of light. And if you're around somebody who's a dark entity who chose not to be in the light from inception, then you may feel like a pain in your stomach. You may feel a headache. It's like they're trying to take away your breath or take away your energy. It's like you have an energy drop. So your vibration goes down, and sometimes you can't figure out what is wrong. I know I have to be careful going into big box stores because my vibration just drops. So what I do is, and the angels told me to do this, because if you don't know, I worked personally with angels one-to-one, with the angel channel, and angels would come talk to me. Anyway, an aside, they told me to think of a musical instrument, and when before I go into the big box store, raise my vibration and then raise the vibration of that room, that building, whatever I'm going into, by playing the musical notes. So I think of, angels with their trumpet. So I think of them playing da 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 da, and then that fills that space with a high vibration light, and then I don't feel bad. So I'm thirsty, sorry. So you can do that too. You can decide what kind of musical note. Some people use a gong, some people, whatever you think of, a musical instrument to announce in your head. You're mentally announcing that the vibration in that area is going to be high so you don't feel sick. All right. So at creation, some beings decided not to accept the light of God, and they're called dark entities because they don't have light and they don't like light. So they created a planet that's called Noir because it's dark, and that's a French word for dark or black, and that's why it's called Noir. So we decided we were going to incarnate. I know you did decide that because you're here on this planet experiencing. So you're incarnated. So you've incarnated, I know, on other planets, because otherwise you wouldn't be allowed to come to Earth. And I'll explain why in a second. So people incarnate, even if you don't believe there's other planets you can incarnate on. You can incarnate in the Crab Nebula. You can incarnate in Andromeda. You can incarnate in the Pleiades. So there are other places you can incarnate. So you came to this planet because you were allowed to come to this planet, because only very advanced beings are allowed to come to this Earth. And the reason that only advanced beings are allowed to come to this Earth is because this is really Noir. We are living in Noir. We are living on Noir. And the reason you're here is because you bring light to this planet. So we encounter darkness, we encounter negativity when we come into life. If you're on the other side, everything feels wonderful. You feel God's love all the time. You don't have any problems with relationships and people. It just doesn't happen. I mean, there may be people you don't especially like, but then you can just stay away from them and it's not a problem. And people speak telepathically. You know what they're thinking. You know how they're feeling. So it's not a problem. When you come and incarnate on Earth, there's a veil that comes up and you don't remember anything about heaven, about the other side. And you don't remember what it's like to have lived another life. Most of the time, some people do. So we come to Earth to overcome darkness. That's a lot of what happens, all the experiences that we have. Most of it is some kind of negative experience. And you overcome it, and then you become a higher level being on the other side. And you share all that information with our Creator. So, Noir is a negative place to be. You don't always feel negative. You don't always get affected by the negativity. But you know there's a lot of negative things happening. The earthquakes, the volcanoes, the fires. On other planets, there's not all these earthquakes and volcanoes. It's because this is a negative planet. But Mother Earth, there is an essence of Earth, like Earth is sentient. And Earth is renewing itself. It's like, let's get rid of all this garbage. You tore down and burned down my rainforest. I need it cleared. You're wrecking the land and wrecking the environment. I want it cleared. So it's the sentientness, the beingness of Mother Earth that's clearing the surface and creating a time where things are more positive. And every 10,000 years, you can talk to geologists, every 10,000 years, the Earth sort of like renews itself. And the poles, the magnetic poles of north and south switch. And that sort of makes the Earth be more oval shaped than round, more oval shaped than usual and round. So that's another part. So why would we come to Noir? Why would we come to this planet? Number one, you had to ask to come. You had to get permission to come because only the strongest, bravest are allowed to come to Earth. Others are just not allowed. It's like there's a gate. You can't not come. You cannot come. And most of you have had multiple lives to get ready to come to this life. And one reason is we are going through a shift in time where we're going to have more peace on earth. It's going to be more filled with light. It's more like heaven on earth. And dark entities, those of the dark who chose not to be of the light, don't want this to happen, but it's happening anyway. So this is a time of dark versus light, dark entities versus light entities. So probably not in your sphere, but around, very high level entities are fighting dark versus light. So I can see dark through the veil. So when I work with people and do energy healing, I can see that there's a dark entity in their auric field. I can see that there's a dark entity coming towards them. I can see there's a dark entity in their house somewhere. Or what I call minions, like little dark, it could be little dark, not dragons, but little dark beings that are like pets, you'd say, of the dark entities. Anyway, those can all be cleared. Ask every day for angels to surround you. Ask for angels to deflect all negativity. You can ask for carrion angels, and that's their job, is to take away dark entities. If you saw the movie Ghost, and the entities came and took the dark guy away at the beginning of the movie, and then took the dark guy away at the end of the movie, those would be carrions. And also it was portrayed as dark angels taking them away. Either way, they're taken away. So this is a planet where you gain lots of knowledge because you have to go through negative experiences to live here. Now, not everyone feels that. Not everyone has had as many lifetimes, and that's okay. Some people are only on their third life, and that's okay. And they're not aware. They're not aware of any of this negativity. It just bypasses them. It's rather like toddlers are not affected by negativity like that because they're so close to the other side. They've just come recently, so they don't get infringed upon by dark entities. You'll notice some teenagers, however, do a complete about face because suddenly they're able to sense dark entities, and before they were not. And so that's when they sort of go a little off the wall because all of a sudden they're feeling this essence, this presence of darkness, which sort of robs, like takes the breath away from you, takes the energy away from you. So if that happens to you, you don't feel good. Also, we've talked about psychic attack, where you feel someone's energy, a dark person's energy, coming towards you, and it affects usually your stomach or your head. And it's just like somebody just like took your energy away from your stomach, took your energy away from your head. It's like, oh, there's something wrong here. I need some help. In which case, ask for your angels to help you. Ask for your spirit guides to help you. Fill yourself with light. Keep filling yourself with light. My problem is when I get into that situation, it takes me a while to figure out, oh, I'm being psychically attacked, which is why I have Code Blue, which is my list of the tools of protection I want. And I can just say Code Blue, and my spirit guides will flood me with all those protections and help take away the negativity. I also call or text a couple of friends and say I'm being psychically attacked, and they'll send energy. So you are very, very, very brave for coming to this planet. It is Noir. It's a reflection, an opposite reflection of Nouveau, the positive planet with very high ranking entities who've learned a lot, have a lot of knowledge, have a lot of experience. And that's the opposite of Noir, where dark entities tend to congregate. A lot of dark entities on this planet. Now, you may not feel them. You may be in a circle of a lot of white lights, and that's great. But on occasion, you may encounter dark entities. So, no, fill yourself with light. Set up a code green, code whatever. And so those all can be engaged. And you just say it out loud to your spirit guide, Code Blue, and they have permission to engage all of your tools of protection, whatever they are. And if you don't know what tools of protection are, I've done videos on tools for protection. Okay, so we're on this dark planet. You chose to come here because it is the fastest way to gain the most knowledge, to have the most experiences, to raise your level of perfection. It's called levels of perfection, the quickest way possible. So coming to this planet, instead of spending 50 lives on another planet, you can have the experiences just in this one lifetime and raise your perfection level on the other side just by coming here. Also, you want to serve God. You want to serve our Creator. You want to be able to experience for Father God. We love Father God so much that we bite off more than we can chew and sign up for experiences that if we were on earth, we would not sign up for. So when you come to the point in your lifetime where you go, what is going on? Why do I have all these negative things happening to me? Then appeal to the feminine side of God. I call Asna, Mother Goddess. Appeal to the feminine side of God and say, enough. I can't handle this anymore. Please lift this from me. I can't do all this anymore. And ask for angels to come. Ask for protectors to come. Ask for, if you're in dire straits, ask for the silver light. When you ask for the silver light, it brings the mother goddess and it brings all available entities. It brings warriors. It brings all genres of angels that are needed. It brings beings that are just willing to come and help you. One time, I was doing a retreat and my mentor Sylvia had died. And so we were having trouble getting people to come sign up for the retreat. And everything was falling apart. I was trying to do stuff on my computer, it wouldn't work. I couldn't connect. The word processing programs weren't working. I was getting psychically attacked. So I asked for the silver light. And I remember one of my friends said, "You've got centurions around your computer." So centurions, Roman soldiers were protecting my computer. So it doesn't have to be just angels. We love angels, but there are other protective entities who will come and help you. But you have to ask for them. Now, don't ask for the silver light when you stub your toe. This is for dire situations. This is for someone is trying to take your child in a custody case. This is you're being attacked. Don't use it just for everyday things, but you can ask for the silver light. So we come to this planet to experience the negativity. We know before we come that this is going to be a negative place. We know there are going to be great challenges. We know that we're going to overcome things, and that's the whole idea, overcoming things. And you get, as they say, brownie points for figuring out how to overcome something. And there are entities on the other side in heaven watching you who've never incarnated or who have incarnated and want to know how to survive things. You are the example. You are letting people know how to get through life easier because you've made it through. Pat yourself on the back. You've done a great job. Just being here, Sylvia would say, my friend Sylvia Brown would say, if you got up and got dressed, all right, what a good day. You made it through. Every day does not have to be stupendous. Just making it through another day. And you are such an example to people around you, people on the other side watching you. You're never alone. So don't think you're alone because there's so many people watching you on the other side, seeing how you are surviving life. Because it's difficult to survive life. It's difficult to be on this planet and survive life. So, Noir. It's an interesting place. Right now we're going through a battle of good and evil. And away from us, so we're, doing our thing on the planet, there are very powerful entities who are fighting the battle. They're fighting galactic negative people, the good guys in spaceships and the bad guys in spaceships are going after each other. And very powerful white lights on Earth who are incarnate are fighting dark entities that are not incarnate, like spirits. And this has happened on every planet that has been Noir. So eventually, this planet will supernova. So after this time period, we're coming to the time period, yay, of heaven on earth. And then eventually, this planet will supernova. And then another planet comes in to be Noir. So different planets have played this role before. Mars has played the planet Noir. Venus has played the planet Noir. So different planets have been in that role of being Noir, of being the negative planet that all the negative entities love to come to. And they're not allowed to stay on the other side. They cycle back in. So obviously, we don't want Noir because it's negative. But the whole idea of fighting the good and evil is people see how we've survived life. You're the gladiators. There's the extreme gladiators who are fighting in the ethers around the planet, in the planet, whatever. And then us regular guys are on Earth, going through and overcoming darkness, overcoming negativity. And that's what we signed up for. So we're bringing light to the planet. Think about when you walk, think about planting light every step you take. There's a saying, I think it's 30,000. One white light, that's you, one white light can dispel the negativity of 30,000 dark. That's how powerful you are. You don't realize how powerful you are. You are powerful. You are a creator. You can create so much more than you think you can. I talked about expectations in one of the previous videos, and your expectation can color your whole life because what you expect comes to be. So you expect that that person's going to be mean to you again, then that person's mean to you again. You expect that you're going to send out love to the people in your circle, and then you get that love back. So although this is a negative planet, there's so many positive things, and we can get through much easier. If you have laughter, that dispels negativity. If you send out light, that dispels negativity. If you send out love, that dispels negativity. So you are so powerful, and you can create a wonderful bubble around you of positivity. Fill your auric field with light. You have an electrical emanation around you. Make sure that's filled with light. Make sure it's filled with love. Send love out to people. Send light out to people. Send love to your loved ones. Send light to your loved ones and your friends. I'd like to send a bubble of love or a bubble of light to everyone. Send it every day. Just think it. That's part of your morning routine. Sending a bubble of love out or sending a bubble of light out to everyone in the world. If someone doesn't want it, it goes to the next person who would like it. So this negative person doesn't want it, so this person gets double the dose of love or double the dose of light. And that's great too. And it doesn't take much. Angels will deliver those bubbles immediately. So just think of sending them out. Ask that the bubbles go out to everyone in the world. Take a breath. Fill yourself with light. Fill yourself with love. You have that surrounding of your auric field. Fill that with love. Fill it with light. Have light go before you. As you take a step, for every step you take, think of planting light. You're planting light. I like to plant light and platinum columns, which is a form of God's light, a silvery platinum column. They're pyramid shape, and I think I have a whole video on that one too. And it's for a protection. I put platinum columns in the corners of my room. I put platinum columns in light fixtures. So all along my street, there's light fixtures that have platinum columns on them. I put platinum columns in trees. I put it on overpasses. I put it on wherever. So plant light, plant platinum columns, and know you are a bright light. You are so brave to have come here. You were allowed to come here because you are strong. You are allowed to come here because you are a light, And you're helping people to raise their vibration right now so that people can transition if their soul chose to, because not everyone has chosen to go to the new dimension. And that's okay. Some people have chosen to stay in the experiencing, stay in the realm of karma, balance, experiences. We're going to have a lighter dimension, a more heavenly dimension, a peaceful dimension that's coming now. People are already transitioning. You don't have to do anything special. You don't have to say any whoop-de-doo thing. It's already happening. If your soul has chosen to go to the new dimension, then it's already happening. The angels come in, tweak you a little bit, and go out. Come in, tweak you a little bit, go out. And slowly you're transitioning to a different light being. It will be a different, they call it light body, a different DNA than you had before. So depends on what you signed up for. If you're listening to this, most likely you've signed up to transition to the new dimension, but perhaps not. I know people who are choosing to stay in the third dimension, and they're going to be helping people in the third dimension. And that's okay too. So take a breath. I know this is a lot. I know when my friend Sylvia wrote about Noir, I think there was only one book where she put down that Earth was Noir. On the other book, she just described Noir and that was a planet, but didn't say we are a Noir. So thank you for volunteering to come to this Earth. Thank you for volunteering to be in a place that is challenging. But on the other hand, you signed up to face great challenges and overcome them. And in overcoming the great challenges and the negativity that's available here, then you learn a lot more, you gain a lot more knowledge, and you'll be able to help so many more people because you've survived things and they can see you as an example, both here on Earth and on the other side, people planning lifetimes. They see you and know that you've gotten through. You have made it through the day. You have made it through an experience. And that is so appreciated. You are so appreciated. You are so worthy to have come here. Otherwise, you would not have been allowed. You are a wonderful white light. So let that shine. Let your light shine. And remember, think about planting light every step you take, and think about sending out bubbles of light or love each day. That's my suggestion, and I hope you'll take it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. And I hope to see you next week. So I'm hoping to have a talk ready next week to talk about the changes that are coming, because we're shifting into a new dimension, and a lot of the things you can see happening right now. I know in the United States you can see the government shifting, and I want to talk about what the probabilities are. What are the greatest probabilities of what's going to happen between now and the shift to the new dimension? Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week.